Today on 2Phresh Exclusive, we're sitting down with a powerhouse creative whose work spans from corporate world to the big stage and the film screen. She's the founder of 3Babies Production, a company rooted in family, faith, and purpose. She's using her platform to tell stories that inspire healing and transformation. She's the brilliant mind behind the emotional stage play, The Beginning of Forever, which will premiere on October 25th, and the visionary behind the acclaimed film series Boy Meets Girl. Ladies and gentlemen, the incredible Bertha Davis.
Wow. A big intro.
So Bertha, she surprised me today. She said, you know what? I got a surprise for you. I got a special guest for you. I was like, all right, well, who's the special guest going to be? Bertha, you want to go ahead and introduce our special guest?
Yes, very special indeed. The one and only, I'm going to say his full government name, Wayne Lewis Davis, who has also transitioned from the corporate community into this creative community and really is of great support for me behind the scenes. So I'm excited to have him join me today because there is no 3Babies production without a Wayne Lewis Davis production.
Let's hear that again for the people in the back. There's our what?
There is no 3Babies production without the Wayne Lewis Davis.
Let the world know. Let the world know. What's going on, Wayne?
Wow. Man. Thank you for having me here. And I'm a special guest, and that's appreciated. Lynn, Bertha Lynn, as I call her Lynn. First name is Bertha, middle name's Lynn.
Yeah,
and
put some spec on it.
But Bertha Lynn is incredibly creative, and I'm in awe to be next to you in this journey that's of these last 2 years has been incredible.
Thank you.
She's amazing, and you see the talent in her film and in her plays, stage plays, and you're about to see it again in The Beginning of Forever.
Thank you.
Now, Bertha, I gotta ask. Who came up with the name 3Babies? Because that sounds like a production company or a 90s R&B group that opened up for boys to men.
Well, you know what? Babies to grown boys, man. Okay. Yeah. So 3Babies production is actually based on a nickname that my older brothers and sisters would call me and the literally three babies. There were 8 children born to my parents. And so there were the 5 ones that were kind of stair step. Then there was a gap and then 3 right after that. And so I was the youngest of the 3 and my sister Celia, my brother Russell. We used to sort of entertain, put on plays and stuff. This is back when TVs only had 3 channels. So we were a pretty hot commodity for our talent with our family. And so this really just kind of ties back to that time.
I love it. Let's run it back though. So if y'all had a variety show back in the day, who was the lead singer and who was just there for the choreography?
See, now this is going to go public.
Put you on the spot here. Put you on the spot.
The truth about to come out, right? You said who was the Michael Jackson of the group. So you know what? Here's the thing though. My sister Celia, my brother Russell, and I, we were kind of equally across the board ham. So we were dancing. My brother, probably he was sort of, I would call the Walter Cronkite, and I'm really dating myself, but think of some sort of famous news person because he would do a broadcast news program and interview us and all of that. My sister was the drama queen. I mean, she came with the drama, and she actually was the one who often come up with the storylines. And I was the comedian and dancer, singer, entertainer, utility player.
So when I met her, Bertha Lynn Davis was the Michael Jackson.
Beat it.
Yep.
Alrighty, so after focusing on your academics and the long corporate career, what inspired you to return to your creative roots?
Oh, wow. God led, I would say, but I my creative side actually never went away. Back in the day, and I'm sure still even now, people will tell you, you can't earn a living at that. Get yourself a good job, a good man, stay with that company, retire from that company, get your education and focus on what makes you money versus what you love. Sometimes they coincide, sometimes they don't. So I did that. But while doing that, and I didn't do it, you know, in a painful, angry sort of way. I actually enjoyed it. Exposed me to a lot. I traveled the world, and it helped to inspire my writing. In fact, my first film, Boy Meets Girl, was inspired in part based on my corporate experience. But I, throughout that time and through my church, I remember at Beulah Missionary Baptist Church, we used to do plays and things like that. Before that, as a kid, I went to what I call progressive, because we used to do musicals and plays. And so I got to do a lot of writing and all of that. So it wasn't completely gone. But once my brain was able to turn off sort of the corporate thing, which consumes so much of my mind, I literally just woke up and started writing. And I wrote the first play. It's complicated. And, I learned a lot in that process, but you know what? I'm glad I didn't learn too much, because I found out afterwards from people who had done other plays, they were like, wait, you do know you're not supposed to have really more than 10 people in your cast, or 10 people in your cast. You should keep it 5 or 6. And I was like, oh, I had double that. Well, usually you want to experiment and start in a small theater. I was like, oh, I rented a theater that seats over 200. So,
Well, why would they say that though? Why would they say start off that small instead of like, do they feel like you'll be overwhelmed or what's
yeah, thank you. Their guidance was, and it's funny to me as I reflect on this, how, how I said in the beginning, they would tell you, get a job, blah, 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 stay conservative. And in the creative community, we kind of still have sort of some of that thinking, just a little different. So they told me, stick with 5 or fewer people, actors, because if you want a producer to pick up your work, and travel with it, they don't want to deal with a script that has, more than 5 people. So if your script has more than that, have them play multiple roles and things like that. So that was their guidance on that. And then also starting small, a smaller theater, more the kind of start small and learn and save your money. That's, written a big theater. Wow, that's a lot of money. What if you don't sell tickets and, nobody knows you? I did not, I literally, Bertha Lynn Davis was on nobody's map anywhere as it related to theater or film, certainly film. I just, I literally was, in some ways I still feel am a nobody with a dream, a nobody with a dream.
yeah. So I mean, let's dive up a little deeper because you said so you were HR marketing, right? So you went from HR marketing research to running a production company. I mean, that's some serious career plot twist when you say, I mean, one day you're managing employees, then the next day you're calling action. So what in the character development is going on here? What's going on? Because I'm like, yo, like, so like you retire, you like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get my creative juices going and go ahead and pursue. So like that hunger, that drive, and you keep striving, you keep going. So I love that. I love the spiritual growth you have going on here as well. And then Wayne, I got a question for you. She said, Boy Meets Girl was inspired by our corporate life. So you know what that was about, right? It's about interracial relationships going on. So what's the inspiration? You want me to ask her, or you want to ask her about that? Or do you know?
Well, in the corporate world, it goes on every day. Because in the corporate world, unlike your community where you may grow up or go to school, it's not that diverse sometimes. You live with, you play with the races and the faces like you. But in the corporate world, it's a mixing pot. It truly is the America supposed to be, right? You got all races and faces entering that corporation, and that mixing pot happens. So the interracial relationships, the hierarchy that occurs between salary and non-salary, management and non-management. All those things play out in the corporate world. And so, Bertha Lynn, inspiration coming from there makes sense because that 33-year career and that dynamic engagement of all those different races and faces is going to play out in her head. And a person with writing skills like her and the dreamer that she is will play out on the canvas and the paper. And so that's when she put the pen to pad. Boy Meets World came out. I would have said it was fluid. She may say she probably had writer's cramp and all kinds of things going into that room and writing, but it definitely, some of the things I saw there on the film or in the script, I experienced myself, right? I watched it, not me personally because I came in married, but I saw other people experiencing it. And so, yeah, I can see how it developed.
Yeah, they talk about write what you know. And both Wayne and I, we are diversity and inclusion practitioners. I came at it from a human resource perspective, and he as director in product supplies. We had a group that he managed. And so that area has been of interest. And so Boy Meets Girl is all about that. And that was a learning process too, even as I bounced my ideas off of Wayne. And as we talked about these characters, are they relatable? And even, still dealing with questions of, well, is that what a Black person would do? Are they Black enough? Is it white enough? Is it this? Is it that? And when we screened it, Boy Meets Girl, the first time, and I sat in the audience, there was a woman there who, when the male lead character, white male executive, kind of started to show interest in a Black female, she was like, ugh. Literally, not like, she was literally going, ugh, under her breath, and actually when I did this as a short film and when I entered it even to some of the film festivals, Black film festivals, it was actually not picked up.
So why do you think it wasn't picked up?
So two things. So there's Boy Meets Girl Part 1 and Boy Meets Girl Part 2. And now this is really an exclusive. So
let's get it. Let's get it.
This authentic.
Let's go.
Are
you ready?
Off book. So in the first one where these characters meet in the elevator, which is the one that I sent around the first time, it is the character, the Black female character. I guess people were thinking she was too close to on this. If I have this continuum in America, right, we got Black and white. And back in the day, if you didn't look, talk, act, or dress a certain way and you're Black, if you were too much close to that white on the white continuum, you was like an Oreo, and called names like that.
Oh, man.
And, or if, people sometimes would say, I had someone, they at a high school reunion, went to a high school reunion, Black high school. They were like, oh, I thought you was going to marry a white girl, based on how somebody acts or looks. And I will say personally, from my experience, I'm a Navy, my dad was in the Navy, so we traveled a lot. And so when we moved to Cincinnati, people were like, oh, y'all talk funny, because we would say seller. We spoke, they say proper. And so, I had a lot of that. And so this character of Michelle, people were kind of like, yeah, she looked like she probably would date a white dude and not like Black men. You know what I mean? And it's like,
so like, is it like I read the script for this character, or is it like I put it on screen on film and this is the feedback that I got from
now,
audience?
when it was on film, it did start out as a stage play. It was selected by Cincinnati Playwrights Initiative for their new Voices series.
Before I let you continue, so was the same person that acted in the film, was that the same actress in the stage play or somebody different?
Same person,
Okay.
Same female. And Black people, we as a people are, a tapestry of difference in and of ourselves. And this lead character of Michelle, she is me in all her essence, and her sister is me. So in the sequel, what has gotten more sort of positive, I wouldn't say even positive, popular reaction. So in the sequel, the audience laughed and they were like, yeah, girl, going on. Because in the sequel, we introduced the character of Michelle's sister, who on that continuum of sort of, in the Black culture, I think a lot of people can relate to because it's either them, it's their sister, it's their mama. She's like, she says what she wants to say. She's not going to sugarcoat it. She does not have that corporate speak. She's used to people making assumptions about her, and she does not care. So I think a lot more in the Black community connected to her.
Because she's more relatable.
And she's related. And so that added authenticity
Yeah.
to the film. And it gave voice to the people who watched the first one who were saying, that don't look right. That don't, now all of a sudden they had on screen someone saying, that don't, that don't look right.
Yeah.
And as a writer, I had the opportunity to say, okay, I hear you. I hear you say that doesn't look right, but let's try it, come at a different perspective. So I feel like I was able to put both voices in the room.
So how does that impact you as a writer emotionally? Because this character you said is pretty much stretches of yourself, in that character, and then you get the feedback from part one saying this is not right, and then you get feedback from part two. It's like, so you took that criticism, you shifted directions, and now you have more of something that's more relatable to the audience and more, I'll say it's positive feedback versus the feedback you got before, which was pretty, you can say constructive criticism, or you can say it's negative feedback or what. So how does that affect you? Because it's like, okay, does it make you want to pivot a different, so do you write for your audience or do you write for yourself now, or how where do you go from here?
Yeah, no, definitely constructive criticism, and I take that. And it hurt my feelings. No one prepared me for that, because what they don't prepare you for is when you put yourself in a character and people feel a certain way about a character. How can I not take that personally? Like, well, that's me. It's not all of me. So I wasn't quite prepared for how I felt about that, but I had to put my feelings aside and listen to the criticism that was indeed constructive to help. Because and at the end of it, when I peel back, get past my hurt feelings, what people were saying is, and what I have said, and I've heard other people of color say, I want to see myself on screen. And I was shutting out the voices of my community, of myself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I married a Black man, and the story is fiction. I never, met a white guy in the elevator, or, had a, love interest in that way. But what I was trying to do is bring people together.
Is this a what if story?
Is it what?
Is it a what if? Is this a what if story?
It is. It is actually. It is a what if. I was in an elevator.
Ding, ding, ding.
There was this white European French guy.
It's gonna be argument when we gotta start going home.
It was a white European French guy. We was in the elevator, and we'd seen each other around, but we actually never said anything to each other. So it's just a made up conversation in my head. But I really wanted to. My purpose was to get people to the table to dialogue about this thing called race in America. And what does it really mean? And are we still, and there's so many layers. And that's why I'm grateful to have, my husband, Wayne, who, both personally and professionally, he's facilitated, workshops and things around this topic. And so he helps to ground me in sort of both the academic and the emotional components of the story. So I look to him a lot when I'm writing. But you ask, do I write for myself or do I write for the audience? I write for myself by the grace of God, because I don't know, I just feel compelled to. And what I'm finding in the writing process is I'm learning more about myself. I'd never sit down and say, I'm going to write my story, or actually, none of my stories are necessarily, me, written like I sat down and said, this happened to me. Now I'm going to turn it into a full story. There are elements, but when I'm done, I go, oh, shoot, that looks like kind of something that happened to me. And that part has been very revealing.
Okay. Alrighty, well, let's talk about the reason why you're really here. I know it's like, oh, we didn't talk about my introduction and everything, but let's talk about why you're really here today. So we're going to talk about the beginning of forever. The beginning of forever. So now your new stage play, The Beginning of Forever, drops October 25th of this year. And I gotta say, this sounds like the perfect date night, but will it have folks crying, or can I still eat my popcorn without getting emotional?
Wayne, why don't you go ahead and answer that? Because I wrote it, but you've read it and you've seen some rehearsals. Go.
It's an emotional roller coaster. So I like what you said. Eat your popcorn. It's going to get some tears on it.
Oh no.
But it's also they're going to get some laughter and joy. And then there's going to be some excitement. So I think it's the full spectrum. I would say, she knocked it out the park again. She hit a home run because to me,
A grand slam.
I think so. It's the trifecta, because when you can touch all those feelings in one stage play, typically people walk out just astonished because they were on this emotional roller coaster, and so I think she's done it again, taking them on that journey with you, and you will have characters, which I've, by the way, a little snippet is as I talked to some of the folks that are bought tickets that are going to the play, and they read the excerpt, the summary, they said, I think I'm going to go see myself. Just in that little 3 sentences. And so, again, which Bertha does a good job of doing in storytelling, is touching people where they are, and not knowing it, almost like a preacher in a sermon. I think they're preaching to me. Well, same as this story. I think this is about me. Does she know me like that? I'm hearing that. I've actually had people say that, and when they say they're buying tickets, they're like, "I'm going." Is that about me? And so that's the depiction I've seen from this play.
Ladies, you need to get you a Wayne. Get you somebody that's a quarter like Wayne. What the young girl say? My man, my man, my man. I see why you wear Wayne now. I see.
Pause, granddad.
Before somebody tries to cut this and say something, go ahead, throw that pause in there. But yeah, Wayne, you're a good, supportive husband. I'll say that for sure. I couldn't say it any better myself. And I watched some of the rehearsals. Speaking about some of the rehearsals, we're gonna go ahead and cut to one of the rehearsals and come right back so you guys can take a look at that.
If I come back and anything is gone, including your daughter, I will call the cops on you.
Wait, just don't do that. Don't do that. If you could call the cops on me, I might have to show them those pictures that
All right, welcome back, y'all. So you just saw the behind the scenes here in Bertha. It really looked like your actors are smacking each other in this play. It looked like we're getting a little bit of WWE SmackDown going on, if I will say so myself.
In this play, a little bit of everything.
Man, he came out like, well, it's the big show. It's crazy. Alrighty, so let's talk about Jackie. So, who is she and what inspired her story? She's not a variation of you, is she?
Well, some parts, yeah, but yeah, whoa, about to get my feelings hurt. No, she actually was inspired by. I overheard, one woman telling another woman a little bit of her story about how she had left home at the age of 16, and sort of that struggle and why she left home. And I literally only maybe heard 3 minutes of the conversation because I was walking by. And so from there, I played that out. What would prompt someone? No one, I don't care what nobody say. Nobody wants to leave their home at 14, 15, 16. There's something going on that compels them or forces them to sort of leave. So it can't be a very safe environment. And the person who I overheard telling this, and I didn't know their background or story, of their past. All I knew was what I saw today. And so I started to deal with this question of what, how does a person go from the worst of, situations or the worst aspects of their lives to the person that holds down a job, smiles, appears, normal, if you will. And so that's what started me to write about this, the story called The Beginning of Forever. So, and Jackie is a talented singer, as well. My productions so far have always included live music. Because I hear, you're going to crack up, because I hear music in the air. There must be, I was teasing him because he was singing this, what I think was a kind of corny song, but but it was about hearing music in the air. There must be a God somewhere, and I was like, oh.
Right. Wayne, you can hold a note? You can hold a note?
I can hold a minor note. Yeah.
A minor note, okay.
He can.
I don't know the way he looked. He was like, "Do you know you talking to right now?"
Yeah.
I'm the king of R&B over here.
Yes, he is. He is a tenor.
Right.
Wayne is a tenor.
Yeah,
He's
right.
a singer,
Right.
male
I
chorus.
support great singers.
He's good. He's good. But yeah, so that's what Jackie is. And I do feel that Jackie represents a lot of people. And I think a lot of the people like Jackie are starting to come out the woodwork. Wayne commented that people are saying, I think I'm going to see myself. Because, there are aspects in this that deal with mental health. And so, in the Black community that used to be, back then it'd be like, pray your way through it. Hey, child, talk to the pastor and all that, and not saying any of that's bad or not necessary. For some, it's not enough. And there's shame in it. And I will say personally, I remember, my mom was, my parents had 8 children, but they split when dad left when I was 5. And so she was, and so sometimes some older siblings were with my dad, youngers with her, but sometimes all together. But essentially, she had the bulk of the responsibility for all 8 of us at home.
8.
Yeah. And she, I would see her when I was
Hold on, I thought it was 3. It's 8.
It's 3 babies. The 5 was our audience.
They
That's
weren't
why
the babies.
they weren't the babies.
She's talking about the last 3.
The last 3.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Yeah. And he's the youngest of 8 too.
Just so you know, we're both the youngest of 8.
Yeah. So there is no there's no
how is that like
small, nothing small.
How is it sustainable? I can't imagine. Well, maybe back then
it was tough.
Well, what my mom would say was, she said, people, how'd you do that? She said, eventually, it's kind of like, if you have 1 or 2 kids, 3 kids, okay. But once you start getting to 4 plus, then you're just having your babysitters. So, the older ones could take care of the younger ones. So my mom went back to school. She went from, this is a woman that was pregnant at 17, 18, went back, got her GED. After getting her GED, she became a licensed practical nurse, then a registered nurse, and retired as, a management position or director of same-day surgery. So I watched her do all these great things with kids. And I had 2 kids and a supportive husband, and I felt like I was falling apart. Like, I can't handle all of this. But then I would say, but my mom did it. My mom did it. So, and she had a lot more struggle. So put your head down, do the work, don't complain, and just get it done. It doesn't matter what you feel inside. You got it. You got it. But on days when I didn't feel like getting out of bed, and I love the Lord. I know what it means and feels like to be loved. And still I hurt inside. I just did not know what to do with it. Or where to go with it. And I've learned that I'm not alone. And, I talked to my mom once years ago, and I said, Mom, she told me, my mom lives with us, and she saw me running around. She was like, what you saw, you didn't see that I would fall in bed from exhaustion and crying. You didn't see, I was in there praying on my knees all the time. Like, no, you didn't see all of that. So she's like, don't go through that. If you don't feel like you got to keep your house spotless, up to some false standard, or if you can, hire somebody, or let it go. Don't feel like you have to, be all dressed up every Sunday, for church, if that's not how you feel. and doesn't, support your mental health. So I've learned some things. And so I hope to be able to, when people leave the beginning of Forever, they leave feeling that they are not alone wherever they are, whether everything's great, I love it, I love life, and I'm, ready to go, or I'm kind of suffering in silence. I want all of those people on that spectrum to walk out of there feeling heard, seen, and good, and hope. Hope. I think was Obama's book, The Audacity of Hope. When you have hope, as long as you have hope, man, that's the key. That's the key right there.
Yeah. Did you look at my questions beforehand? Because
She answered them all. She answered them all.
she ran through them like line for I have 1, 2, 3. She went through them in order and everything. I'm like, okay, all right, well, I don't have to ask this question now. I'll go ahead and skip.
Man, life is a story. Life is a story. That's all it is.
Yeah,
and I'm a storyteller.
crazy. Well, I'll ask you guys this question. Who's your favorite character in the stage play, and why?
No, you go with this one first. I'm curious. That's a good question, Wayne. What do you get that male perspective?
Yeah. So it would be the boyfriend.
Leland.
Leland is my favorite character.
Leland. Okay.
Because Leland, and I don't want to reveal everything, but Leland goes through a transformation, and who he was.
A transformation.
Yeah, he transforms.
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, he had.
Oh, but you're not trying to spoil it though.
But he was a person that carried a lot of weight, and which comes with some issues and opportunities of self-esteem.
So is this physically or is it emotionally? Weight.
Both.
Oh, okay.
Right. The physical impacted the emotion, and so as it gets revealed and understands, how do you handle that, the new you with the old you still in your mind, and so how do you handle that with in relationships? And so Leland was a character that I get right. I think people will get.
Gotcha. Was he like on Ozempic or something? You said he lost a little weight. It's all
find out.
Right. Oh, okay.
Right. You're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out. Okay. Got some nutty professor action going on. Some buddy love going on. All right, Bertha. So who's your favorite character and why?
Oh, young Jackie. So we'll see, Jackie, the main character, sort of as she ages, if you will. But the younger version of her is my favorite character because she is, she's hurt and hopeful, and strong. And so seeing that brought to life by a young actress, Camille Jones. She, I think every actor brings sort of whether they know it or admit it, they bring a part of themselves to every role. And there's no masking it. And she just has this sort of natural vulnerability that plays across her face. And so she's the perfect person to deliver this young Jackie. I was telling one of the actors, I think Tom Hanks is probably Tom Hanks and Denzel, that no matter what role they're playing, romantic lead or drama or action, you kind of, for some reason, you're like, that's still Tom, that's still Denzel. There's this element that they bring, brilliantly transform into these characters, but they still are bringing in, some describe it as an it factor. That's why they're so popular.
Yeah.
Will Smith had it, maybe. I don't know how y'all feeling about him these days.
I think he still has it.
Okay, he's still there. But so, and that, and for me, that's what, Camille brings to this character. So
Okay.
Young
Who
Jackie.
plays older Jackie?
That is played by the one and only Biana Turner. Although her stage name is, oh shoot, because I've known her.
Stage name.
Yeah, she got a stage name.
All right.
But I've known her since she was actually, I was one of her mentors at the company that we worked at when she first started. And so she's the same age as my oldest son. So we go way, way, way back. And I told her, speaking of it factor, I told her we sang in a work singing unit, chorale, Black employee singing unit, and I'd seen her do some acting, and I told her, you know what, I've seen a lot of actors, but you got something in you. You got that it. You got it. You got that it factor. And she was like, and I was like, I don't know. One day I feel like I'm just gonna do something with you, and just because I just believe in you. And so fast forward, that had to be 10 years ago, maybe, or more.
That's about 10.
And, fast forward to today, and having her in this role, this lead character, she definitely embraces and embodies the strength of Jackie. She brings the young Jackie that I mentioned to life. She carries that character, and then the person that we see Jackie becoming, until she becomes what she becomes. And she's a talented singer as well. And she's
Is Fiona, she was the one that was singing at the rehearsal on Sunday? Y'all need to come see this. Like, y'all need to come. She can really sing. Like, you're in for a treat. How much are the tickets again?
She's a beast.
20.
You can $15 or $25.
That's a steal. That's a steal. And you get it. That's a steal. How long is the stage play again?
About an hour and a half.
Buy your tickets ASAP. That's all I'm gonna say. It'd be well worth it. You're in for a show.
ASAP.
What you know about that,
Rocky?
Bertha? Nothing. T.I., you know that T.I.? ASAP. Said ASAP Rocky. That's funny.
No, I'm more UNITY.
Alrighty, so last question about the beginning of Forever. So are we expecting any surprises? Any special guests coming? Can you let us know? Can you give us some tea?
Yeah, little insider tip.
Okay, listen, 2Phresh exclusive. Let's go.
2Phresh is literally, this is exclusive because we have just, recently secured the very, very talented Dr. Ronzel Harris. He's going to really, I wanted somebody to set the stage. Like, when you go to the theater, there's this voiceover. Please turn off all cell phones and pagers. The emergency exits are to the left, blah, 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 blah. And then the play starts. No. I need a setup by somebody to know how to set some stuff up. And right before intermission, he's going to, really help kind of sort of keep the story going. But Dr. Harris, he is, by day, he's an educator. And also by day, he's a minister. And he is also a comedian. So
by night, who is he? Batman or somebody?
Yeah. Batman. Then he goes to his lair.
Many talents, many layers.
Because I've just seen him do all these things during the day, but he's got many, many layers. And so he is going to be a added treat for the play. And as you mentioned, now here's another exclusive.
Okay.
Ooh, listen, this is so exclusive. I have not even told this one right here. I told you I tell him everything.
Okay.
Everything.
I'm ready to hear it too.
I know, right? I don't know. Did she tell you about the guy in the elevator that had the British accent? I don't know.
Nope. I wrote about it, so he knows about it now.
That was a 2Phresh exclusive.
Yeah, that was. So vulnerable moment here. The title song for the play, I wrote it.
Okay.
Never written a song before. And the very talented Jerome Johnson did the musical accompaniment for it.
Who's
okay.
Amazing.
And he is a beast. He's a beast. He's the minister of music over at New Prospect. But let me tell you, if you need somebody, I don't care what genre of music, you got some stuff on your heart, and you want somebody to help compose music, but he's a beast of an actor. He was in my first stage play.
Well, we want him just for us.
But yeah,
I don't know if
I shouldn't
that's
tell nobody about it. I
Right.
shouldn't. No, just
No,
forget that name.
So he's in the first stage play as an
Mm.
actor.
Yes.
Why didn't you bring him back for
And
the
here's a musical director for this
Reser-
one.
But he's multi-talented. He could
He
still.
is. He
So why didn't
is.
you bring
Well,
him back for the
because he
second
also
one?
does film. That's why I said this man got like 4-5 jobs. He does film, he does stage, he does, music, he plays instruments, he writes, composes. So I'm just happy I can steal him long enough to, do the music for this one. But yeah, so I'm excited about that. Nervous about that.
Excellent, excellent. Alrighty, so let's talk about your creativity. So you said you didn't think you reignite your creative side after all those years, but look at you now. Yeah, I think you're look at yourself though, like you accomplished so much. You accomplished a stage play, you accomplished your 3 films. I mean, it's a series, but technically it's 3 films. So, I mean, what is this? Is this what retirement looks like, or are you just building your new empire right now?
Listen,
What's going on?
hey, Empire, I like that. I never say I retired. I say I graduated. I graduated from that company and I stepped into my next life, and any measure of success that I have had, however, if you want to call it that, I will say the honor is mine, but the glory is God's. Because there ain't no way. There's a scripture in the Bible that talks about, how God will pour you out blessings such that you cannot receive it. So if you would have told this poor black child from the ghetto, literally back then, that, I would be surrounded by, have a loving husband, beautiful children, and to be able to have played in 2 different, careers. I, I I didn't think I did not see that for myself. I did not pray that for myself. When I was praying for was, first it started out just make me rich. Cause that's a lot of poor people dream, like I just need some money, God. I need to pour it out. But it's so much more than that. And this really isn't about, I'm not in this to make money. If y'all only knew, they knew that wouldn't be the case. All y'all creators out there, y'all know it's an investment. Right. And at the same time, it has not cost me my sanity. It ain't cost me my mortgage. It ain't cost me my health. It truly is it's cost time. I'm not sleeping a lot these days because the brain is always going and there's always something to do, whether it's, painting the set or, trying to secure the actors, make sure they got their lines and running rehearsals and tweaking the script and lighting, all that stuff. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it. I'm just so grateful. And I'm so grateful to be welcome, Lovell, by you, your community of filmmakers. Let me just say this.
Oh, don't get me start crying or emotional or anything like that.
Yeah, no, but Lovell, we met when we were doing auditions for my first stage play, and you had seen it, and I do give a lot of credit to Tisha Griffith, also, who I kind of followed her for a couple of years and watched her do her thing. And you came by and you said, "Hey, I just want to drop this off," and it was for the 2Phresh Film Fest, the very first one. And I was like, "Film festival? I'm a stage. I do stage. I don't do film. I don't want to. No, that's too hard. It's nothing too hard for God, but it was too hard, and I love film, and I would never do it. But since that time, and you have embraced me and encouraged me, edited my film, made it possible, financially feasible, and just, and everyone that you're connected to as well, Brianna, and others have just sort of welcomed me into the film community, provided me the opportunity to learn, And as I continue to grow as an artist and on stage, and so I'm grateful. There aren't a lot of organizations or people or communities that welcome inexperienced people into their game. Being picked for the team, man. I got picked. I got chose.
That's a big shout out. I will echo the shout out to you, Lovell, and 2Phresh. It's you're the consummate professional.
I wasn't expecting this.
You know your stuff. And it shows.
Thanks.
And so we've been exposed to some of this space over the last 2 years, and so when we see greatness and great skills and great professionalism, and again, we come from the corporate environment, and so there's that expectation, and sometimes you don't get it, and you bring it, and so hats off to you.
Nice. Thank you both. I wasn't expecting it. Well, that's gonna wrap up today's show. Let's end on that note.
Yeah, cut while it's hot.
All right. Well, let's talk about Boy Meets. I can't. We got to at least talk about this before we wrap. Let's talk about Boy Meets Girl, the final chapter. Now this boy meets girl story started in the elevator. That's risky territory, right? Some of us just press the wrong button, get on the wrong floor, and we start to panic. But Kobe and Michelle got stuck and found love there. So in the final chapter, are we still in the elevator, or did they finally make it to the lobby?
They are out of the elevator, that for sure. They are out of the lobby, and they are in the real world. Wayne mentioned earlier about how the corporate world, you're thrown into working with people who are Black, white, Asian, from other countries and all that stuff. But particularly for a lot of us Black people, our communities we grew up in is all Black, right? So now all of a sudden you're in this environment with these different cultures and races and all that stuff. And so it does create, and not only that, this culture of people, everybody that comes in the door, they tend to, have Ivy League education and all this stuff like that, and come from different socioeconomic backgrounds. So the elevator sort of bundles that up in a space where these two people interact. They are now out in streets, so to speak. So the series, part 2, they're at a company picnic, and part 3, they're in Colby's home. And so one of the characters, one of the lines that I like that she says is, Michelle says to Colby, "Hey, outside the elevators, race matters. Race matters." And so that's what parts 2 and 3 explore is, outside the elevators, where race certainly takes a bigger stage, especially in, these days. It's important. And so what does the dialogue look like with people who don't work in that company, who still, their environments are predominantly Black or predominantly, predominantly white? This really just sort of take parts 2 and 3, take a look at that.
Excellent. And then, so you premiered the film at the 2Phresh Film Fest. What was that experience like? And I know you touched on the feedback from the audience earlier, but is there any, other different feedback that you may have gotten that you'd like to share with us?
So the reaction in the audience was it for me. That, I was like, they laugh when they're supposed to laugh as a writer. And, we're silent. I had probably the crown jewel of the night or evening for me, as a writer. One of the other filmmakers, came to me in the parking lot. I was getting ready to go. He says, Hey, I just wanted to tell you that I really, the writing, your film had a lot of dialogue. Like it relies heavily on dialogue. And, that's a lot of writing, and I want to improve as a writer, so I want to, let's stay connected and hooked up. And so I was just like, wow, because when you're writing, you write in isolation. I do, unless you're in the writer's room, but these were in isolation. And the funny thing about it was, here I am looking at this guy kind of and I say jealous for lack of a better word, but not in a negative way, I just say admiring when his film.
You say jail?
No, jealous.
Oh, jelly. Okay, okay, my bad.
I'm cleaned up now. I'm better. This guy, his film was MF and Aliens.
Okay. Shaq. Okay.
Yeah.
Shaquille.
And so I'm thinking when I was, in the theater and people was rolling, dying, laughing, and I appreciate good comedy. And, I was just like, wow, this guy, he getting applause. He getting, people like, oh, watch out, doing all these things for his film. So I'm like, mass prop, how you do that. Like I would say he was people's choice, people's champ on that one if I was going by audience. And so to have him come up to me and he was like, I'm looking at your work. And I'm like, I'm looking at your work. We can learn from each other. That's so cool. So just that networking aspect of it, not just because I got that compliment, which I take as encouragement, but also being able to meet and network with our industry insiders. Like, it's a good practice ground. You guys did a really good job. You and Brianna, y'all sent out some communications like, hey, this is how you do a film festival as a participant. Be prepared, be networked, bring your cards, do it all, and I was like, oh, I never thought about that. And I had attended another film festival and that was never mentioned. In fact, and it was a good film festival, but Wayne and I, we were talking to each other like, okay, so we probably should be doing something, like, but what, like we watched the movie, so we found our way there for sure.
Okay.
But I was like, that's very thoughtful to sort of provide that in advance so people could get the most out of their experience. So that was cool.
Yeah, you able to collaborate with Shaquille. I hope that manifests into something. This is what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys watch Pop the Balloon and Fire in Love?
No, that's why I just
okay.
like, I thought you was just
Like, yeah, you
I
just,
thought
what is he doing here, guys?
one of your
What is
personalities
this?
was
Yeah.
coming out. One of your multiple
Gotcha.
personalities. I was like,
Yeah, but this is what it's all about, You just I put this together for us to one, let's find a way to utilize our films and make money from it. One, because it's, sometimes you have festivals where you put your money in and it's just like, thank you for submitting your money, but we're not taking your film. And you're just like, oh man, I spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars trying to get into something, and I'm in the negative. I'm in the hole, right? And like as you mentioned earlier, you may not be in it for the money, but it is an expensive cost to make these films, right? So I wanted to utilize something that we could, one, showcase our work to an audience, cross bridges with different audience, and gain fans that way, but also be able to monetize and make money from it as well, that we can use these income and we can allocate that towards maybe a film festival or allocate it towards another project that you have in the works, right? And you want to feel appreciated. And then also the networking aspect, right? Because the reason why I came to you and Tish's audition that you guys had is like, hey, these guys are black, but I don't, like, no one in my circle, it doesn't look like affiliates with you guys, and it's like right down the street, so it makes more. And I had a shoot that I had to go to, but I said, you know what, something in my heart is telling me I need to go here. I got my flyers anyway, so like if they kick me out, whatever, I can say I was just fessing these flyers out, whatever. But I was kind of like trying to see what you guys had going on and introduce myself and work, because our community is so esoteric, it's so small, that it feels like people really don't know about us, but we're so talented, and I feel like we need to show our work or somehow where people can know about us and embrace us, you know what I mean? So yeah, I lost my train of thought going into that rant, but this is why I created the 2Phresh Film Fest. just to get us the community to come together, the film community, but also an audience to support our work in order for it to possibly hit the main stage, mainstream. Alrighty, so few more questions and then we'll wrap up the podcast. I know you're like, man, I'm tired. We got places we gotta go. So let's talk about reflection and legacy. Are you ready? All right. So, what advice would you give to other creators who feel like it's too late to start pursuing their artistic dream?
The devil is a liar. That's what I would say, first of all.
Yeah. I thought Wayne was about to bust out that Jay-Z and Rick Ross. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Okay, no, okay.
Yeah, that's the first thing, because as long as you have breath in your body, literally, it's never, ever, ever too late for anything. And it's never too, it takes $0 for real. Just write. If you got an idea, write. If you want to act, go, knock on door, see who's doing what. You are good enough. That's the other lie to tell you, one, you're too old and you're not good enough, or it's too late. And even if you do, you're not good enough. Lies. So, or you're not, they call it imposter syndrome. People who are very accomplished but feel like they're an imposter that's going to be found out. You are accomplished. If you are breathing in this day and age and time and, putting your clothes on and getting ready to go and can face the world, you are a force to be reckoned with. So whatever it is, I forget at what age, I think they say it's about 10 that in some research that kids stop skipping. It's like that transition where you start to leave what they say childish things behind and childish pursuits. But man, start skipping again. Start with that.
Oh, like outside. Physically skipping. I was like, skipping? Like skipping school? What's skipping?
Skip school, skip grades.
Right.
No, like physically skip.
Okay.
Physically play games. Do things that remind you of those days when you didn't have people telling you got to color inside the lines. Yeah. Do those things and just, just do it. Just do it. Whatever it is.
You sound like a Nike commercial right now.
Yeah, I do some life coaching too.
Okay.
But and I know there are roadblocks that get in the way. And what I try to do, when I am as a life coach, is find out what does success look like to you on your terms, not what anybody else says. And then what can we do today? Because you have the answer in you. Nobody's ever asked you the question.
So what is what does that look like? Because someone like, I don't want to say like me, but someone could look at that, a life coach, like, I don't need what is a life coach? You know what I mean? Like,
Some people need a life coach, some people need a therapist. So, it just
what's
depends.
the difference?
So a life coach is, a therapist is really, if you have some, sort of deep-rooted issues and challenges, sometimes they're physical. So, mentally, the synapses don't quite work right. Drug recovery, you're in a physically abusive relationship, all of those sort of traumas, you need professional help. If you are someone who I just want to experience life in a better way than I am today, I have, resources around me. When I say resources, I have a place to live. I have food on the table. I'm employed, maybe not, but get through the day. No, that's why I say you may be a therapist or a social worker. I can connect you. But just when you're ready to, when you're like, I just need a coach, right? Like when kids are playing professional or not professional sport, when kids are playing sports, sometimes their parents get them a professional coach to help take their game to the next level. A life coach is just that. Okay. I'm here to help you take your thing, to the next level as you define it. That's the other lie. People tell you you're not successful until you do, or if you don't get this award or you don't get that, you're not successful. No. What does it look like for you? And then I help you uncover that.
So are these people, are you seeking these people, or are they coming to you? Or
My dance card is full. I really don't need, I'm not looking for clients. I am a certified life coach. I was a professional executive coach while I was at the company. But people I don't particularly advertise. I think there's a link page on my website, but people have found me. They come to me by referral and say, she really helped me in my career. She really helped me, spiritually, personally in my marriage. And so they tell other people. And typically, my clients, I may work with them for half a year. Like I'm not, if I'm in your life for your entire life forever, then we're not making progress. We're not making progress, and you probably need to see somebody else. I'm not that one. I'm here to help you get you on your way and help you get your tools that you need, that you can do this not only on your own, but you can pull up the next person.
That's what I'm talking about. And you've been married for 35 years, right? Or
Hell
how
yeah.
long? How long has it been?
35 in July.
35 in July.
35 in July. Let's give a round. If I had a round of applause, but not push that right now. But yeah. So what's the secret? What's the secret? You gotta let us know.
You go with that, Wayne.
Our secret. I don't know if it's everyone's secret. Our secret: faith in God. Definitely supporters of each other. In every facet, no matter what it is. And then the true belief that there's nothing, which I believe she now believes, that there's nothing that can separate us. Nothing. Truly nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing.
He's always been that way. He's been a stronghold. I came from his parents, they were together till death did them part. And I come from a long line of divorces in my siblings, family. And so I went into it like, and we both, we Christian, blah, 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 blah. But I still, in my back of my mind, I was like, if this don't work out, there is an out, But he was like, no, it ain't. No, there isn't.
I believe in lifelong contracts, right? You say I do, you never say I don't again. Right. And just like I'm a deacon in my church, once you become a deacon, you're always a deacon till you die. There's no retirement of deaconship. There's no retirement of marriage. And so they're very, in those that take up the cloth with a clergy, you don't retire from being a clergy. You may retire from being a pastor, but you don't retire from being a clergy. It's to your death. So marriage is the same. And so that's what I mean by...
Yeah, when you view it as sacred.
That's right.
If it's sacred, it's not about staying in the marriage because I'm in love with him, because I'm not every day.
But you work on the marriage because I'm in love with you.
Yes. Why you enter the marriage and why you stay in the marriage can be two very different things. Yeah. And so for us, and for me, it's kind of like it is when I don't feel like being married. And truthfully, we was not on the same page this morning. Even anyway.
Well, it wasn't about the show, was it?
No. Was it?
Well, no, but no.
Oh, okay.
Well, it started not because of this show, doing the show, not for it, not that at all.
Oh, okay. I was like,
no, it's getting ready for the show.
Sorry,
getting ready for the show. But getting ready for the show.
Ready for the show. Okay.
But yeah, when we don't feel
you
that,
guys are trying to wear matching outfits or
there
something.
You go.
Oh, you really were? I was joking. You really were?
That's how easy it is. They're like,
so whose idea was to wear matching outfits?
She said we should coordinate. I said okay. She said casual, and then when she came downstairs, I said, "Wow, that's not so casual." It's like okay, so that's okay. But once again,
then I'm trying to change. He's like, "Get out here, we running late."
And I said, "Don't change for me. You're the primary. I'm the secondary in this scenario." So, so even though I may have given some feedback, at the end of the day, you're primary.
Hurt my feelings.
So,
but yeah. So, but even in that, it's kind of like.
But I apologize as well.
Yes, that's key.
And to me, apologizing for things that hurt. If I hurt you, and I'm not quick to apologize, that's my own personal issue, not yours.
Yeah, he's so great at that. I'm horrible.
You apologize after you said she's the primary. And
Oh no,
No.
that was part of the
secondary?
apology.
The apology was because I said something that hurt her feelings.
Oh, okay.
And so for her to the point that she wanted to change clothes because of it. And I thought, no, don't change clothes because of it.
Yeah.
And thus, my words obviously triggered the wrong reaction to. My apology was because I used the wrong words.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's
man,
really good about that.
I was gonna joke and say, see, man, even when you're right, you still gotta apologize. But hey, it was like you said something.
He was actually, he was right, but yeah,
The way the delivery
was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
delivery was
that's
Yeah.
part of the thing too. But that this is 35 years in.
Yeah.
But when we're not in love,
You can practice after 30.
So that's why you said, look, you gotta work hard and what? Be nice.
And be nice.
be nice.
Okay,
That's
you
why
said-
you like.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's right.
There
It's
you go.
For those that can't see, it's a sign in here that says work hard and be nice. And the first thing he said in here is like, I need to work on one of these. Which one do you think it is? And I said, I don't know. You seem pretty nice to me. So work hard. He was like, nah, I need to be nice. See why now. But you still a work in progress. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
We all
Aren't
can't be
as
perfect.
we all are.
I'm working hard on being nicer.
Hey, there we
Yeah,
go.
yeah. But when you don't feel that the anchor, he mentioned this is for us, it's our faith that this commitment I have to him is secondary. The commitment I have is my relationship, not religion, not church, none of that. My relationship with God. And so if I told God, I prayed to get someone like him. Okay, God delivered.
Like,
Listen, I don't believe there's just
I see
one.
why you. I see why you say something, but then you say that. I
Come
don't
on,
know.
Lovell. Come on.
I don't know.
Come on, Lovell.
This is the perfect guy.
I'm on Lovell's team right
He's
now.
the perfect guy. But he's the
I'm
perfect.
on Lovell's team right now.
He is. He's perfect for
Oh.
me. He's
Right, we're perfect
for
for
me.
each other. That's true.
And so, to me, to walk away from that based on how I feel at any given moment is a disrespect to the one who gave them to me in the first place. So it forces me to, when I do want to leave, to pause, reflect, and revisit, and then put in the effort that it takes to restore it. But not every relationship and not every marriage has that level of commitment to the other primary. And so I don't profess to say this is how you have to do it. It's just how we are and has worked for us.
Yeah, and that's what marriage is like. What may work for you may not work for others, but you can't let outside forces determine, I want to do it that way. You guys don't do it that way. No, because it works for us, right? So it's for y'all. It's not for everybody else. Forget what anybody else thinks or how they want to criticize. Whatever works for you, let it work for you, and don't be influenced by any negative energy.
Yeah, and you can take we take, advice and watching people and
absolutely.
things like that. And I think that's the same thing, going back, circling something you said earlier, Lovell, creative process, the critiques and criticisms, constructive criticism, or even praises for our work. It does influence, but I am the decider of what to keep and what to throw out. And so and that helps to make me better as an artist, as a creative. And so that same thing is applied to our marriage. We kind of take in what we think could be helpful to us and throw out the rest.
We do a good job. I think we do anyway. Like in this space, I said she's primary. And there's spaces when I'm primary. And so thus she yields. And thus I'm the deciding factor. So she's inputting, but not the final decision. But in here, this space, she's the creative. This is 2Phresh production is Bertha and Davis production. I'm the assistant. I'm the secondary. So as I encourage, I'm uplifted. I'm gap filling. I'm doing those things that she would have me do, knowing that it's going to aid the 2Phresh production to get to the level that we need to get to, that she needs it to get to, that she wants it. And so where you want to be, so then let's go talk about how do we get it there.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I see more. I don't see secondary. I see more as like a partner from what
I
I
like that.
see. Outside looking in.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
he is.
He's a partner.
Mhm.
Alrighty. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show. But let's talk about remind the people of where to catch your stage play, the date, and the times.
Yeah, so The Beginning of Forever, original stage play by Bertha Lynn Davis, follows Jackie on her journey of self-healing and discovery and finding out whether or not she is truly worthy of self-love, played by the one and only Fiona Capri. That's her stage name. And it takes place on Saturday, October 25th at the Fairfield Community Arts Center, 411 Wessel Drive, Fairfield, Ohio, 45014. There are two shows, 2:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $15 and $25. They can be purchased online at the Fairfield Community Arts Center website. They can be purchased in person at the box office at the address I gave previously, 411 Wessel Drive. I hope that's what I said.
Is the in-person tickets the same price as the online prices?
Yes.
Okay.
And
We got
so-
2Phresh. You know you don't buy online. We gonna rate the price a little bit. I don't even let y'all know. Like, y'all should. This is a commitment. We gotta keep our numbers. We gotta know how many people coming. You know.
That's true.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
even call. You can purchase over the phone, just like you do at the Airnoff. You can call
Okay.
down at the Fairfield Community Arts Center.
Well, you purchase over
They'll
the
do
phone?
them over the phone. They'll take your credit information. So all those different
no extra
ways.
charge to do it over the phone either.
No matter how you purchase, there will be a $2 per ticket fee for processing.
Oh, that's how they get you. That's how they
But
get you right there.
listen, it's not like down at the Airnoff. You get hit with a bunch of high taxes, processing fee, administrative fee, but it's $2 flat.
It's
parking's
$2.
free.
Just the extra $2.
Oh yeah, and parking is free.
Parking's free.
Free
Plenty
parking.
and plenty of free parking. It's
Hey.
a beautiful theater. They have
250
lovely.
seats.
They have a bar, concessions, and all of that. Comfortable seats, a big, beautiful 300-foot stage. Yeah, so it's a very, very nice evening. Great way to get out, do something different, support the arts, particularly those that are underrepresented, like us, Black and Brown folk. So there we are behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. And so we would love it if you come out. It's not an entirely Black cast, so there is a little diversity there. So
Just
yeah,
a little bit.
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Not a lot. I'll just play.
Just a little, like life.
Well,
'cause
you
this
did
is
mention
a
free
story.
parking. I was gonna say you guys mentioned free parking there. Hey,
Mhm.
I went to so last night there was a Brandy and Monica
Yeah.
concert, and then also Bengals versus Steelers
Yeah.
at
Oh,
the
yeah, that's
same
right,
time.
yeah.
At the same
the
time.
parking
So
was
guess how
jacked
much?
up.
Guess how much parking was? The parking in the garage.
$40.
Oh, that's high. Is it
It's-
more than that?
No. I'm trying to
I'm
get yours.
thinking-
She said 40. How much you think?
At the parking garage, I'm saying 30.
It's $50.
Oh my gosh, we was both
$50
wrong. We was
to
both
park.
wrong.
I called it because
50.
I told my wife, I
got
said
you.
it's gonna be. I told because I went with my wife and my sister in law, and they was like, hey, we can park in the garage. I said it's a Bengals game and Monica and Brandy and Monica here. I said it's gonna be at least $50. And as soon as we got in there, it said the sign $50 a park.
Got you.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
This is free, y'all.
But this is free parking.
Free
and
at
the
the
tickets
Fairfield.
are
$25 and $15.
$15 and $25 free
Yes.
parking. Can't beat it.
That's
$2
right.
$2 surcharge fee.
Yeah. That's right.
You got it.
You got it.
You got it. Alrighty. Well, these are my guests, Mr. Wayne Davis. Okay. And then we have Miss Bertha Davis as well. The woman's out here writing plays, directing films, running productions, and I'm out here just trying to remember where I parked my car at. All right, but hey, audience, you out there, remember, stay fly, stay humble, and stay fresh. Peace.